Shadrach Mabuka. Hi Shadrach. He says, are you married? If yes, to who? Yes, Shadrach. How am I supposed to answer? Yay! Welcome to my new studio. What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. Thank you so much. Yes, we made it to 100,000 subscribers. Say what? Like what? So I'm making this video just to thank every one of you for all your support over the years. Thank you so much, mommy and daddy. Thank you, uncle and auntie. I'm very grateful to everybody that has subscribed to my channel. Koyodo thinks it's not a big deal. I think it is. Because you have to get to 100,000 before you get to 1 million. So now let's go for 1 million. Please just tell 10 people to press the subscribe button. That is all I need. And if you're yet to subscribe, seriously though, don't be wicked. Press the thing now. And also a huge shout out to all my sponsors on Patreon. All the people that are sponsoring this show by supporting me on Patreon every single month. Thank you so much. 110 of you. I cannot name all of you, but thank you. I'm very grateful. And I'm sure you like my new set. Yes. Actually, it's not mine. No, it's not my set. YouTube Space is letting me use this place to make this video, but this is not my studio. Don't worry, someday we'll also have studio that will look nice like this. And yes, I can always shoot at YouTube Space. It's just that they have their policy. It could take up to 48 hours for them to approve a video that you shoot at YouTube Space. And because I'm dealing with news, I don't want to hold a video for like 48 hours before releasing it for you guys. Sorry that my quality is not as nice as theirs, but hey, we'll make it work. So I thought I would answer some of your questions, so I put it on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page that people should ask any questions that they want me to cover. So if you're not following me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm sorry. But you know, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. So my very first question is from Aja Sabali. Shout out. And this person said, Adeola, what's your advice to young generation to be strong, beautiful and intelligent? You are beautiful already. I don't think there's any formula to this, Aja. I think the best thing is to be yourself, because there's only one you in this whole universe. There's nobody else that can be you. Be yourself and embrace everything about you. You know, your talent, even your weaknesses, everything can be used for good. And also be open to new ideas. I always say on my show that I don't know anything, I'm just keeping it real. And I literally mean that I really don't know anything, because the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And also be open-minded to new ideas, to opinions that are different from yours, even if you don't agree with somebody, to have an open mind. And also try to enlarge your coast, try to travel, try to see the world, because it helps you to grow. My next question is from Moses Jimba, and he says, hi Adeola, are you not afraid of attacks from politicians? Thank you so much. That's a really good question. No, I'm not, because I'm already under attack. And I don't know where you live, but if you live in Nigeria or other African country where things are not working, you are also under attack, whether you know it or not. So many people are dying before their time because our governments are not responsible. The fact that you can always turn on water and water would run. The fact that whenever you want to travel in Nigeria especially, you have to pray, because you just don't know what will happen on the road. You know the road is not good. That could lead to an accident. You're also afraid of armed robbers on the road. And not only that, if anything should happen on the road, you can just call 911 and the ambulance will show up. And if you get in an accident and you're taken to the hospital, you can't guarantee that the hospital will treat you well unless you have money. And if you have money, sometimes they don't have the equipment to treat you. So I don't know any other attack that is more than that. So what's the point of being quiet? If you speak out, they may arrest you, they may do stuff to you, but at least they know that what they're doing is not right because someone is speaking up. Besides, I do this with respect. I mean, I'm always kneeling down for them. I call them my uncles. Father. And I really wish that more people would speak up. I think the fact that we don't always speak up is why they ride us anyhow, because honestly the truth is the only thing that will always set people free. I have close family members that have been victims of all these things that I talked about, accidents on the road. I've lost close family members to the poor healthcare system in Nigeria, and these were people that didn't even have a show, yet they lost their lives. So my brother, I'm already under attack, so why not speak out? The next question is from Judith O'Neill, and she says, hi Adeola, why did you leave Sahara Reporters, and how do you manage to keep smiling at the antics of these politicians? So I left Sahara after 6 years because it was time for me to leave. And also, how do I keep smiling? Well, I have to smile because some of the stories that I talk about are so ridiculous that you can't even cry anymore. You just have to laugh. And also, I try to make people laugh because some of the things that I talk about are actually very, very depressing. They're very depressing. I don't want you to be depressed after watching my show. That's why I try to make it funny. I don't think I'm funny, but I try to make make it funny so that when people are watching my show, they can laugh while they're learning about real things that are happening at the same time. So Shadrach Mabvuka, hi Shadrach, he says, are you married? If yes, to who? Yes, Shadrach. Am I supposed to answer? Am I supposed to answer that? Why does he have to know who I'm married? So hi Shadrach, thank you for your question. Yes, I am happily married. Okay, so the next question is from Chibuzo Michael. Hi Chibuzo. He says, Adeola, do you think Buhari has any chance of winning 2019 election? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win this next election. I know that typically when someone is an incumbent, they have more resources and more power in terms of having influence on the result of the election. But going by what happened during the last election in Nigeria, Buhari defeated an incumbent, so that can happen again. But the truth of the matter is, I just wish Nigerians would look beyond ethnicity or religion and vote for someone that they believe can do the job. During the last election, so many people believed that Buhari could do the job. I also believe that he could do the job. So I have been highly disappointed by this administration so far. But in terms of who would win the next election, honestly, I have no idea. It's in the hands of voters. Honestly, I can't wait for the time that Nigeria would also have young leaders. Ethiopia just had a new prime minister who is 42 years old. I mean, that would be wonderful to see a 40-something-year-old ruling Nigeria. At least we know the person will be physically fit instead of having to go abroad for treatment for 3 months, and hopefully responsible, because this thing is not about age. Just having a younger person doesn't mean the person will do right, but I'm hoping that we'll have a young person who is physically fit and hopefully responsible and not corrupt. The next question is from Ijevu Temitope Aru Otune, and this person says, Adeola, what's your solution to Nigeria's numerous problems, and how can the progress in the developed world be replicated successfully back home? In terms of solution, I think awareness. I think people need to be aware that we've normalized a lot of abnormalities in Nigeria. There are so many things that we accept as Nigerians that are abnormal, and I'm mentioning Nigeria because he mentioned Nigeria, but this is applicable to so many African countries as well. I think people need to realize that the way things are is not the way things are in so many parts of the world, which is why it's very important for people to be exposed. Whenever you have the opportunity to travel, please do explore other places. And even if you don't have opportunity to travel, instead of just being on Facebook commenting on somebody's picture all day, please, even if it's 10 minutes in a day, take it to explore what life is like elsewhere. You can look at the roads in other places. You can find out whether people lose power, electricity in other places. So I think awareness among the citizens helps us to hold our leaders accountable. And in terms of replicating things, I think we need to be electing leaders that are, first of all, well educated and exposed. I think education has a lot to do in terms of what a leader will prioritize. Like right now, Nigerian president has been a huge disappointment. When you look at how much he allocated towards education, you will be like, what the heck? So I think someone that values education would not do that. So I think we need leaders that are well educated so that they can prioritize education. By now in Africa, in different parts of Africa, we should be inventing so many things. We shouldn't just be consumers. But our education system in so many countries, like Nigeria for example, where young people can cheat their way through school, how can those people invent things? So we need leaders that are well educated, well exposed, and not corrupt, because we have some leaders that were brought from the US and they're still corrupt. The next question is from Asmal Adamu, and he says, hi Adeola, my question is, were you not paid for Buhari's 2015 campaign? If yes, how much do you expect? I think he meant to say, were you paid? Because no, I was not paid. I am not paid by any politician to do anything or to say anything. I have never been paid by any politician to do anything or to say anything on my show. So no, I wasn't paid during the 2015 election for anything. And how much do you expect? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not expecting any payment from any politician, if that is what you mean. The next question is from Genesis Morrison Chukwebuka, and he says, Adeola, have you as an individual encountered a problem that made you want to take your life? If yes, how did you deal with it? And secondly, did you study in Nigeria? If no, how can one get to link to further studies abroad? Let me answer the second question first, because this first question is very serious. I was in the university in Nigeria for about a year before I came to the US, and then I started over when I moved to the US. But your first question, I hope everything is okay, my brother, and I hope you are not in a situation where you're thinking about taking your life, because if you are, trust me, you do not want to do that. It doesn't matter what you feel right now. It doesn't matter what is happening right now. There is still light at the end of the tunnel. Everything that you're going through is actually to make you stronger and to prepare you to help others. Because whether you know it or not, you're not the only one that is going through tough time or that will go through what you're going through. The time will come after you get out of it that people will approach you and be like, oh, I want to take my life, this is too much, I can't make it. But you're going through that right now so that someday you can help somebody else as well. Of course, I have been through a lot of tough times, but God has been faithful. That's the one thing I tell people all the time. I say God is faithful, God is faithful, and I remind myself of that even when I'm going through tough times. So please, if you're going through tough times, don't give up and don't give in, because tomorrow will still be great. I'll tell you a quick story. A Nigerian migrant in Italy recently was baptized by the Pope and he was given his residency. Before that, he was begging for money for 6 months outside a supermarket. For 6 months, this guy was begging for money every day. And then an armed robber came one day with a knife and he robbed the supermarket. But this Nigerian guy went after him and he didn't let him go until police came. But when police came, he realized, wait, I'm undocumented. So he ran. Police were looking for him for weeks because they wanted to reward him. Guess what? When he finally showed up, they gave him his residency. And now he has several job offers and he's able to pick the one that he wants. So anything can happen at any moment. So if you're thinking about giving up, please do not give up. The next question is from Instagram and this person is Jude Abija. And he says, what advice would you give to a student like me who wants to start his or her own journalism show like yours? Yay, more journalism shows. So I think if you want to have a show like what I'm doing, the first thing that you need to be aware of is you cannot take anything personal, okay? When you start a show like the one I'm doing, you will have people that will love what you're doing and you will have people that will hate what you're doing. You can't take all the comments at face value. You can't take anything personal. There will be comments that will encourage you and then there will be comments from people that will try to tear you apart. You need to be prepared for that. That's the one thing that I see a lot of people face when they start a YouTube channel and they are surprised when they see people abusing them. And I'm like, what do you expect? You just put yourself in front of the whole world. Anybody can have access to what you're doing and not everybody thinks the way you do. Not everybody reasons the way you do. So of course you will not have everyone agree with what you're doing. So you need to be thick-skinned and you need to be strong-minded. Just know what you're doing. There will be positive criticisms. Do not overlook those. Be willing to change. Give your audience what they want, but don't lose yourself in the process of doing that. The next one is from Legend Chris and he says, I saw your video on Prophet TB Joshua and Prophet Buhari. What recommendation would you give a partial believer in them? And is there any preacher in Africa that you would recommend? This is a very tricky question. I have nothing against TB Joshua or Prophet Buhari. I just don't think that people should be deceived when something is obvious. That's why I talk about these issues. I don't have any prophet to recommend to anybody. I would recommend Jesus if you want to know what I believe in, and it has been good to me and has never failed me. And I also recommend the Bible. So I would not recommend any pastor or any prophet. I think Jesus is enough, and everyone that has tried Jesus, they've never been disappointed. Go to a church that preaches the Bible, and you need to read the Bible so you know that they are preaching the right thing. If they are preaching anything besides the Bible, I'm not saying Jesus is enough for me, so I cannot recommend anybody. Taufik Quadri says, when are we going to see Koledo? See, come show your face to people. I tell him all the time to show his face. See, it's not my fault. Koledo, come and bow for the people. See, this is, I'm sorry, I don't have any control over that. He likes to be behind the scenes, so the last question I'm taking is from Sally Ofori. What motivated you to choose this career path? I mean, okay, so I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger. But every time I would tune in to watch Femi, okay, on CNN. She was at CNN at that time, and I would love what she was doing, and I would try to pretend like I was her. So I love talking. Well, when I know the person, because when people meet me outside the show, they're like, you're so quiet, is it the same person? When I'm very comfortable with someone, I do enjoy talking and I like making people laugh. So I thought I could combine that with activism, because when I came to the US, I was really mad at a lot of things that I saw here. Life was running well. I could turn on water was running. Electricity was stable. The roads were good. And I was so mad because I felt like I was cheated my whole life that I was in Nigeria. So I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to speak out. I also want to encourage someone that may be watching me today that sometimes we feel overwhelmed by all the issues around us and we feel like we can't do anything. You can actually do something. Whatever it is, even if it's just to touch a life. So that's why I went into journalism, and I love it because you don't deal with one story every day, it changes. So that's why I'm into journalism. Alright, Alright, thank you so much everybody that sent a question on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. We have to do this again because there are so many questions that I didn't get to, but we will do it again. And thank you so much again for subscribing. If you're here to subscribe, like I said, don't be wicked, don't be an enemy of progress. Press the subscribe button. Until next time, I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace out. Can I take YouTube home with me?